Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, that must be Rose.
This is me. Yeah, I'm back.
Welcome
Happy
back.
to be
Rose.
back.
Okay, what happened? Okay. There we go. That should be fine now. I'm learning how to use the computer, so it's a major accomplishment for me. All right. So we're here together to continue our studies of Bhagavad Gita, this wonderful chapter entitled The Universal Form. And we'll begin with text 21. And as we normally do, I will read the the Sanskrit to put us in the mood of the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna regarding the universal form and its significance. Prabhupada would often say that this chapter and the whole manifestation of the universal form is very, very important because it is one of the main criteria. When someone, here in the West, we don't have it so much, the declaration that I am God. But in India, over the course of history, there have been many claimants to the position of God. So many of them, like a famous story out of the Srimad Bhagavatam of Paundraka, who pretend to be God, and they claim, because they may have some material power, they may have been a king or a mystic city, or someone with powers a little bit more than the normal person. But Prabhupada said, in order to definitively declare yourself and prove yourself as God, you have to manifest your universal form. So that's one of the reasons that Krishna manifests this magnificent, awe-inspiring form of the Virat Rupa. Another reason why Krishna manifests this form is because Arjuna he requests to see it, because there are many different manifestations. You've heard the word avatar before, I'm sure. And there are 6 categories of avatar. And this means manifestations. God can unlimitedly manifest different features according to time, place, and circumstance. This is what he declares in the Bhagavad Gita, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati Bharata. Again and again, I manifest myself in order to reestablish Dharma, because Dharma is a sacred principle and a necessary principle for humanity. Because Dharma means one's duty, one's responsibility in the material sense. In the spiritual sense, it's referred to as Sanatan Dharma. And Sanatan Dharma means your eternal responsibility beyond what you need to do in the here and now. Right now we have a particular form. It may be male, maybe female, maybe white, maybe black, maybe brown. We all have our different temporary designations, upadhis. And according to that upadhi, according to that temporary designation, we have certain responsibilities. For instance, if the woman becomes a mother, then that's one of her primary duties in life. It's not her only duty, but it's one of her primary duties. And if the person is a male, then the male may become a father, a husband, a citizen, a soldier, so many different nuances or layers or tiers of responsibility. And then we have to live up to those responsibilities. But beyond that, which Krishna has spoken very definitively and extensively on, is we're spirit soul. The body designation is temporary. It's usually karmic. In other words, we have the body that we have because karmically, this is what we've earned, what we've gotten. So this is how we are, what we are, and who we are. But beyond the karma, action and reaction, beyond that is our eternal position as spirit soul. And we've discussed that extensively, especially in the previous chapters. Krishna has given us extensive amount of knowledge, information regarding the distinction between matter and spirit, and the fact that we are of the latter category, spirit. So in that category, there is also Dharma, but it's called Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means your eternal duty, your eternal responsibility, Sanatan Dharma. And the process, the yogic process of Bhakti Yoga helps us to fully understand and live while we're present, even in the temporary form of the material body, helps us to understand how we live according to our eternal Dharma. So that means that we can simultaneously fulfill our temporary Dharma of father, of husband, of mother, of wife, of citizen, etc., etc. We can live that. But while we are living according to that temporary duty, we can see it as an offering to God, that whatever responsibility we have, we do it as a service or as an offering. And that helps us to bridge between our temporary duty and our eternal duty. The execution of our temporary duty in relationship to the Supreme as an offering to the Supreme Lord, that becomes the mechanism by which we fully realize who we are. And that is Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga does not mean we give up our responsibilities, just like Arjuna. When Arjuna was on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and he was bewildered about his duty because Arjuna is a very noble soul. So when he saw his grandfather Bhishma Dev, when he saw his cousins Duryodhana and his 99 brothers, when he saw his uncles and teacher Dronacharya, he became bewildered. He understood that he was a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means warrior, administrator, protector of the people of society. He understood that perfectly well. And up until this point, he acted on that principle. But this battlefield and this pending war confused and bewildered him because he had so many relationships there, and those relationships had, of course, drew out his natural sentiment for the people that he was going to fight and kill. So Krishna tells Arjuna, when Arjuna decides, I'm going to give up my duty as Kshatriya and go to the mountains and be a meditator, Krishna says, no, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is a warrior. And your responsibility is not just to be a warrior, but your responsibility is you're also a devotee of mine. And this is how you offer what you do, your dharma, your duty, your responsibility. This is how you offer it to me, because this battle was designed by Krishna himself, because at this particular point in time, the various kings were not acting properly. There was a lot of corruption. And this usually, when there is corruption, especially amongst the leadership of society, then Krishna comes and he rectifies the situation. So this was the plan of Krishna, to rectify the situation of corruption amongst leaderships, which was affecting the whole of society. When there's corruption amongst leadership, then we who are not the leaders, we are affected. Our lives are affected. So Krishna wanted to set it straight. The way his plan for setting it straight was the battlefield of Kurukshetra and the death of the corruption amongst the kings. So what Krishna told Arjuna is, if you do not act dharmically, you are thinking you're being dharmic by not killing, but actually you are not being dharmic by not killing. You are being adharmic. You're not doing your duty because this duty is in service to me. You will serve as an instrument in me getting rid of corruption amongst leadership. An instrument of God. And what Krishna tells Arjuna, another significant thing, he says, they are already dead. You can't, by you not doing your duty, you are not preventing the death of the corrupt leaders because it is already destiny. And what is destiny? The language of God. So it is already their destiny by virtue of their errant behavior to get killed in this battlefield. So you can serve me in this capacity as a warrior, or if you don't, you still do not change their destiny. So live dharmically, live according to your dharma, and have it transformed into your Sanatan Dharma. Your service to God is Sanatan Dharma. So here, and while that was stated by Krishna in the second chapter, in the 11th chapter, the chapter that we are studying, and what Arjuna is going to witness now in the manifestation of the universal form, is exactly that. He has the vision of all of those great personalities, Dronacharya, Bhishma Dev, Duryodhana, Dushashana, Sakuni, all of those personalities who are opposing the Pandavas, Arjuna and his four brothers. He is seeing in this vision that is given to him. He's blessed with this vision by Krishna's grace. It's called Divya Chakshush. Divya means transcendental. Chakshush means vision. He's given the vision by which he sees not only what Krishna says, now he sees it before him. So this clarifies and solidifies and verifies the fact that this is going to happen by the vision of the universal form. So text 21 reads as follows. Ami hitvam surasanga vishanti ketchit bitta pranjalayo grinanti Swastit yuktva maharshi siddha sangha stuvanti tvam stutibi pushkalabihi. And the translation given to us by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in my version of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita as it is, reads as follows. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings crying, all peace. All are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. So before I speak on that verse, I think what I did last week, which worked out pretty well, especially in context to this chapter and the way it's structured, I'm going to read all the verses and then I'm going to describe each one by one after we have read them, because it gives you, they're very related, they're very interrelated. So I think it works better. It's more harmonious to read them all together and then I'll speak upon them. Text 22 reads as follows. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadyas, the Vishvadevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Text 23. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. Text 24. All-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. Text 25. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance. Seeing thus your blazing, death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. And this is text 26 and 27. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna. So this is the opposing force that upon seeing Arjuna sees this opposing force, he becomes bewildered because he's related to many of them, either in friendship or as a teacher or as an actual relative, cousin, uncle, etc. And our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths. So there's the vision of them all dying. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. Death, it's death. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths. That's text 29. No, that was text 28. I'm sorry. Text 29. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. Text 30. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible, scorching rays. So now let's get back to where we started, text 21, and let's talk about what Krishna says in text 21. So what do you notice about text 21? The hosts of demigods are entering you. Some terrified, others offer prayers with folded hands. Great sages and perfected beings glorify you with all auspicious hymns. So this is what Arjuna is seeing. Arjuna now understands that Krishna is not merely one powerful being among other divine beings. I want someone out there in viewership land to tell me if you were to say, what is the significance of this verse about Krishna? Who can tell me, give me their understanding of what the significance of Krishna is in relationship to this verse? Anyone like to take a shot at it? I'll read it again. The hosts of demigods are entering you, some terrified, offer prayers with folded hands. Great sages and perfected beings glorify you with auspicious hymns. Okay. So what does this say about the demigods and Krishna? Can anyone answer that question?
I think what he wants to say is there is only one God, one creator, who has created all the other demigods. So it's all
Very,
part of him, but he's the one who is the creator, Krishna.
yes, very good, Rose. Very, very astute observation.
Thank you.
Herein, Krishna is establishing exactly what Rose just said. Because where does the bewilderment come in? The bewilderment comes in. This is a little history on the philosophy of the Vedas. The bewilderment comes in and the Advaita Vedanta by Sankaracharya, he does not want to disturb society by getting rid of bhakti, but he takes bhakti, yoga, and he adjusts it so that it meets what he is concluding is the Siddhanta of the Vedas. And he is concluding that all is one, everything is Brahman. And that form, anything with form, whether it be the demigods or Krishna or Shiva or you or me, anything with form is part of the illusion. That's Advaita Vedanta. Vashishta Vedanta, which is bhakti, and there's different types of bhakti given to us. I think I mentioned that from Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's different types of bhakti, but basically, bhakti means the soul is subservient to the Supreme, the one God. And that includes demigods. Sankaracharya says, no, all the demigods, Krishna, Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, they're all the same. So you can worship any of them with bhakti, and it will be purifying you to the point that you'll be able to realize it's all illusion. So that's a very different take on what bhakti actually is, because bhakti, according to the bhakti texts like Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavad Purana and other bhakti texts, know that there is one God. That one God is eternal. It's the eternal, supreme personality of Godhead. Prabhupada uses that term again and again, the supreme personality of Godhead, one God. And all the others are manifestations of that one God. Now, the demigods are a category of human life, 400,000 species of human life. And the topmost category within the category of human life are considered demigods. So even though Shiva is a special category in and of himself, it's called Shiva Tattva. We are called Tatashta Tattva, the living entities, because we're finite. I've repeated this again and again. We're eternal. We're Satchit Ananda. That is eternity, knowledge, and bliss. That is what our constitutional makeup is. But we're finite eternality, finite knowledge, finite bliss, as opposed to the supreme personality of Godhead, which is infinite. Now, Shiva is just a special category. I don't want to, because Shiva Tattva is a whole different discussion. But let us say Shiva is a very special category within that. But he is still considered amongst the category of devas, of demigods. He's called Mahadeva, the greatest of the demigods. But the demigods are a category of very powerful beings that have the responsibility or the duty to serve the Supreme Lord in different ways. Let's go over. Vayu, he is the demigod of the wind. So he is the controller of the wind. Varuna, He's the demigod of water. He is the controller of the oceans, of the lakes, of the powerful rivers, right? Surya. Surya is the demigod of the sun. Chandra. Chandra is the demigod of the moon. Brahma. Brahma is the demigod of creation. He is empowered. He is empowered in such a way that he's considered the secondary creator. All creation emanates from the one supreme. Brahma, in his service as a very powerful demigod and avatar, he's an avatar, guna avatar. He's empowered to create, but that ability to create comes from the Supreme God, the Supreme Lord, Krishna. So what we get as verification of that fact is this verse. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and planets and all space between. And seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Now, this is the verse I wanted to read. All the hosts of demigods, there are millions of demigods. Some are minor and some are very major and have a very profound position in service to the Supreme. And here it is said, all the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. This is a way to demonstrate by the Virat Rupa, the universal form, which is a manifestation of Krishna. It's a way to demonstrate that the demigods are A, come from Krishna, and B, are subservient to Krishna. So that is what is being stated here. So the host of demigods are entering you. Now, according to their relationship with Krishna, some are terrified by this universal vision, and others are offering prayers, right? So I hope you understand that.
Excuse me.
Yes.
What about Vishnu? Can you talk about Vishnu?
Vishnu is a what is called a there's different manifestations of Vishnu, but they are not human. They are spiritual, pure spiritual manifestations of God, but not in his totality. The difference between Krishna and Vishnu forms are that the complete Purnam, Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. The complete personality, the complete creator, the complete source of everything is considered Krishna. And what does Krishna do? Krishna plays. Krishna has Leela with his devotees. Krishna exchanges love with his devotees. But when Krishna wants to create within this material world, there is a Vishnu form called Karanadakshayi Vishnu, Mahavishnu. And from that form of Vishnu, see, we have to understand that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, has the ability to recreate himself in order to achieve a purpose or a function. But that creation of himself is not the full. He may contain, it's described that God has 64 qualities. And of those 64 qualities, Vishnu form has only 60. 4 qualities are only Krishna and Krishna alone. He plays the flute. He has intimate pastimes with his devotees. He has unlimited devotees. He has these leelas. He has 4 qualities that are not contained in the incarnations of Vishnu. So there's 3 Vishnus right there. Karanadakshayi Vishnu. From Karanadakshayi Vishnu comes all the universes. When the universe is created, there is a Vishnu that is in charge of each universe. That's called Garbhadakshayi Vishnu. And then there is a Vishnu, Chiradakshayi Vishnu, that is manifest within our heart as Paramatma, and that's manifest within every atom within the universe. So when we say God is everywhere, this is how God is everywhere. This is like the beauty, the potency, the detailed description that is given to us in Vedic texts like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Purana, or Srimad Bhagavatam, Upanishads, etc. This amount of detail about God and God's existence on these various levels, according to these various incarnations, because Krishna only loves. When Krishna has to destroy, he doesn't do it. He destroys the universe through the incarnation of Shiva. When Krishna has to create, he doesn't do it. It's not like God sits on a throne with a magic wand and goes, creation, destruction. No, he has various manifest forms, Vishnu forms, Narayan forms that serve that function. So Vishnu is a manifestation of the one Supreme Lord to fulfill certain activities that have to be formed. You see that most of the Vishnu forms, not all, there are Narayan forms too, and I'll explain that. The forms that I said that create, like Mahavishnu, the universes, Garbhadakshayi Vishnu, who controls each universe, and Paramatma goes into the heart and into the atom of all living entities. That's within the material world. The Vishnu, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, that Vishnu is a function of the material world, maintenance. So a lot of these various incarnations are for things that need to get established within the material world. So in order to do creation, Krishna has these incarnations of Vishnu. Now, there are manifestations of the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world, and they're called Narayan, sometimes called Vishnu, but they're called Narayan. What are they? They are because we have, as living entities, we have a desire to worship God intimately or as in awe and reverence. Intimately or in awe and reverence. So what does that mean, awe and reverence? Oh my God, oh my dear Lord, I bow before you. I pray to you. It's like this reverential mood. We see that in the Abrahamic religions, in Christianity, Judaism, Islam. Almighty God, all merciful God. It's, bow down, etc. That awe and reverential mood, Krishna doesn't like that. He likes intimacy. He likes to play. He likes love in friendship, love in parenting, love in conjugal relationship. He loves those intimate aspects of love and love exchange. We experience it here in this world, but that's because they're reflections of love as it exists in the eternal spiritual realm. When we see somebody, who's great, famous, billionaire, powerful, you know, not so much in the Western world, but we do see that. We see people kowtow to like the president of the United States or a prime minister. Oh, they're very humble and reverential in their approach. We have that mood of awe and reverence. And if that mood you want to experience your service to God, it's called dasyaras, service. If you want to serve God, that awe and reverential mood is for the Narayan features in Vaikuntha, in this part of spiritual world which has 24 features of Narayan. And all of those incarnations of Narayan are served by their devotees in awe and reverence. But when you have Goloka Vrindavan, that very special place in the spiritual world, all of the devotees serve Krishna in the capacity of friendship, in the capacity of like Mother Jasoda and Nanda Maharaj as parents, or in the capacity of conjugal relationship, intimate, loving relationship, like with the gopis and Krishna. And also you have friendship, like the cowherd boys, who are Krishna's best friends. Those are more intimate. Those are closer. Those are without special formality. On those relationships, there's no formality. What does that mean? Mother Jashoda can chastise Krishna. How can you chastise God? But Mother Jashoda can, because that's the flavor of that relationship, parental love relationship that Krishna loves. He loves to receive chastisement from his mother. It's a special mood of love. Or friendship. What do they do in friendship? The cowherd boys. They eat lunch with Krishna. And when they're eating lunch, what do? Sometimes they throw food at each other. Sometimes when Krishna's taking a nap, or they'll say to Krishna, close your eyes. We have a very special sweet for you. And Krishna will close his eyes. Open your mouth, Krishna. And Krishna opens his mouth. And then they'll take a flower and put a flower in his mouth instead of a sweet. It's a very special flavor. And Krishna wants that. And then the conjugal relationship between Krishna and the gopis. The affection that's there. The absolute selflessness of the gopis. The gopis will do anything to please Krishna. Anything. Whatever is Krishna's desire, they will do. One time, Narada Muni wanted to know, who was the most surrendered devotee, because Krishna has many different types of devotees in these various moods. So Krishna told Narada Muni, you want to see? I'll tell you how to see. Go tell the different categories of devotees that I have a headache. Krishna has a headache. So Narada Muni traveled all around different categories of devotees. Krishna has a headache. And Krishna told me that the only thing that will cure my headache is the dust from your feet. Now, according to Vedic culture, if you touch somebody with your feet, the feet are considered contaminated and dirty. So the very notion that I'm going to take dust from my feet and give it to Krishna and he's going to put it on his head is like, so all the devotees reacted that way, except for the gopis and Radha. When Narada Muni told them that Krishna had a headache, they said, oh, my dear Krishna, he's suffering. What can I do to relieve his suffering? And Narada Muni said, the only thing you can do is give the dust from your lotus feet And immediately, take it, take it. And Narada Muni was shocked. He said, you want me to take the dirt from your feet and have put it on Krishna's head? If that is what will help Krishna relieve him from his suffering, yes. And Narada Muni said, aren't you afraid you'll go to hell for doing that? Let me go to hell. I want that Krishna does not suffer. Selfless love. So this is the category of love that's in Goloka. The category of Narayan, the Narayan Vishnu feature, is awe and reverential. They would never think of doing that. The only thing that they will do is to serve with all humility, with all reverence. So, if one, in their practice of bhakti, begins to realize their relationship with Krishna in this mood of casual intimacy as a friend, as a parent, as a lover, then that will grow. You will become attracted and you will grow, and that loving exchange will be there. But awe and reverence won't be there. The gopis, they say so many things and do so many things to tease Krishna, and vice versa. Krishna teases them. Mother Jasoda, Nanda, they will chastise Krishna, and Krishna accepts the chastisement. But Krishna also plays games with them. He steals Mother Jasoda's butter when she hangs it from the rafters to prevent Krishna from getting it. He still gets it. He still steals it. It's a playful mood. My wife even told me that when she was young, they had cows, and her parents made milk and cream and yogurt and butter. And one of the things that she used to do, and her brothers, they would steal, the yogurt or the butter. And her mother would always say, "Who's taking this? Who's taking the cream? Who's stealing the cream?" So it's a playfulness that's there between Krishna and his devotees. That playfulness, that's a special ras, a special mood between Krishna and his devotees. So I kind of gave you the full-on, long-winded explanation. So does that answer your question, Rose?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much. It was an awesome
You're,
explanation. Absolutely.
you're, you're
Hare Krishna.
welcome. You're welcome. Does anyone have any question on what I just said? It was quite a mouthful, but if you have any questions, please.
About just a bit more about the demigods. Another thing about the demigods is because they're also under the influence of the gunas, right? And Krishna, like the superior personalized Godhead, is not under the influence of the gunas, right?
Right.
And the demigods are.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Krishna is beyond. He's Shuddha Sattva. There's three gunas: Sattva gun, which is goodness; Rajagun, which is passion; and Tamagun, which is ignorance. And then when you are free, because even if you're very sattvic, very much in goodness, you have clarity of perspective, knowledge, you're happy, you're still tinged with that material goodness. Like, for instance, Narada Muni, when he was very, very advanced, he was considered a Mahabhagavata, a great, great devotee, but still he had some attachment and appreciation for the material world. So he was considered a type of Mahabhagavata that had some little tinge of Sattvagun. But a 100% pure devotee is not tinged by any trace, and therefore they're called Shuddha Sattva. They're purely situated in goodness and never affected by Rajagun or Tamagun.
Maharaj, if I could use 2 minutes, I think if you can help, there's an incident where Brahma came to visit Krishna in Dwarka, I think, and he said to the doorman that I would like to see the Lord, and the Lord said, okay, which Brahma has come? Then he was bewildered. Okay, what do you mean? How many are there? So Krishna said, okay, let me introduce you how big the matrix is. And of course that there are many worlds, and you have Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva in each one of them doing something, and then there's a big
Exactly. And that's very good. Yeah, Brahma wanted to see Vishnu, and and he said, and the doorkeepers said, which Brahma are you? And Brahma was bewildered. He said, wait, what do you mean? I'm Brahma. I'm Chaturmukhi Brahma. And they repeated, but which Brahma are you? And then it was revealed by Vishnu's grace, it was revealed that there are many universes, and according to the size of the universe, like our universe is small. So our Brahma is Chaturmukhi Brahma, four-headed Brahma. But as the universe gets bigger and bigger, the Brahma that is the creative element in that universe has more heads in order to manage the larger and larger and larger universe. So when Brahma saw this, Krishna is merciful. When we need humbling, he humbles us. Brahma needed humbling on a couple of occasions. This is one of them. The other occasion is when Brahma stole the cowherd boys and calves. Indra, he's the king of the demigods. But there are instances where Indra had to be humbled also. So we should not feel depressed or demoralized when we are humbled, because the humbling experience is for our benefit, to help us to understand our finite position in relationship to the Supreme. So that's why the phrase that I constantly say is that Krishna does not do this to me, he does this for me. And it gives us a whole other perspective of our life. And rather than blaming others, for doing this and that to us, no, we're under the direction of Krishna, and everything that is put on our plate is for our benefit, whether it is a humbling experience or it is an encouraging experience. They're both the same. The humbling and the encouraging experiences is meant for our growth and development. So Krishna does not do things to us. He does things for us. And when we develop, and all of these things that are going on in the Bhagavad Gita are to help us understand that principle. And Krishna even says in the Bhagavad Gita, he says that I will protect you, that you declare it boldly, Arjuna. My devotee never perishes. I protect what you have and supply what you don't have. Krishna says that. So it's encouraging. It's all encouraging. And Brahma, in the particular instance that you were speaking about, Ravi, he needed to be a little humbled and to recognize that with all these universes that manifest from the Mahavishnu form, the feature of Krishna in the incarnation of Mahavishnu, there is Brahma, there is Shiva, and there is the interaction in that particular universe of Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu.
Yeah. So one more, I just want to take 30 seconds. Please go ahead, Gunya, Rupini, Devidasi, please go ahead.
Yeah, I got it, I think.
So having spent a lot of time here, I think this is the one question I've been asked every time from people from different faith. They just cannot comprehend how Krishna could be a god, and that's the exact reason why he's a god. The personal level of he other aspects are just um, good to worship, good to, but not unless you go. We are human beings. Unless the only way to open our heart is through personal relationship. And one very nice a colleague of mine who wrote a very nice paper came in a Nature's magazine about log demon that is eating away all societies. He also argued very beautifully. He studies society, not humans, and that represents. So he was giving another argument that okay, a lot of people go to churches and every place says worship God, but who would they like to meet on Saturday night, Friday night? They would like to meet devil. They want handsome. They don't like to meet God. If they are somewhere, they would actually like to meet not God. Go away, go away. So it's a very practical, I know, very crude way to represent it, but it's a reality. It's reality that just cannot hide. It's in everyone's face. And so God has a very specific need, but Krishna is just, if people are willing to spend time, look at the personal thing and how the culture has arrived at the very end. It started with Rig Veda, with Indra, and culture reinvented and reinvented. At the very end, everyone said, okay, we all have done mistake. We have to do devotion. We have to again reinvent ourselves. And after that, everything was done. Krishna established, and every questions for all humans, for all types, whether they don't have leg, no matter how much deficiency, whether they can do yoga, read, write, every human being were given a path where they could just do devotion. It's built into it, and Krishna is the answer. And it all questions were answered. Just people have to sit down. And so I feel very proud to be part of this culture, which has done so well. At first, it feels like, okay, it's not God, but if you spend time really spending time, we just find endless beauty in it. Thank you, Maharaj, for bringing it up in.
If you think of thank you, Ravi, for your realizations on this, sharing it with us. It's wonderful. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives an analogy. He says the banyan tree that's on the bank of a lake. Envision this. The banyan tree is here on the bank of the lake. The lake is in the front. And what do you see in the lake? You see the reflection of the banyan tree. But the reflection is different, isn't it? It's the same, but it's different. Its difference is its positioning. It's upside down. And the real banyan tree, which is giving off its reflection, is up, right side up. So this is to have us understand that the material world is a reflection of reality. It is not reality. It's reality in the sense that it's temporary. It means this is going on, but it's temporary. So the definition according to Shastra, according to scripture, is reality means eternal. And anything that is not eternal is temporary. So it's not real or part of the illusion. So according to that description in the Bhagavad Gita, where the material world is a reflection, everything we're experiencing, why do we experience it? Why do we want friends? Why do we want to be parents and experience a love of our parents? Why do we want a partner and experience that very special loving exchange in our partnership? It's because what we can experience here, which is not eternal, we cannot be eternally married. We cannot be eternally the son of this particular parent. We cannot have the friends that we have here eternally. They'll all dissipate according to time, the time factor. Krishna says, time I am, destroyer of all worlds. So our world, as we know it now through these eyes, will be dismantled by the course of time. But yet we still have this inclination, an inclination to love another person intimately, an inclination to be loved by someone, an inclination to be understood, an inclination to understand. We have all of these inclinations. Why? Because they exist eternally in reality. So when people say they can't understand Krishna, it's because they have a particular perspective which has been manipulated by the gunas, influenced by the gunas. So they can't see God as having beautiful hair and lotus eyes and plays the flute and likes to play around with his girlfriends. And they can't perceive that because they're immersed in the temporary facet, the temporary dimension of their existence. That's all they're looking at. And that's all they can see. It's like looking out of a periscope. You look at a periscope, you can't see the vastness of the ocean and the sky. You see through a hole, and you're able to see some of it, but you can't see the vastness of it. So when we're here and we do not make the effort through the process of bhakti to understand our eternal loving relationship with Krishna, we can't see it, and therefore we can't understand it. But when we make the endeavor to see it, we are blessed with that vision to see its vastness. And even then, when we're blessed, we really can't see the entirety of it, but we see enough of it, enough of reality to understand that this is temporary and it is our eternal responsibility, our Sanatana Dharma, to love and serve God forever. That's who we are and what we are. And that is bhakti. And any process which does not bring you to that clarity, to that understanding, to that loving relationship, it's not bhakti. Maybe a semblance of bhakti. You may be devoted, but bhakti means that when we understand everything, all that we do, all that we offer, all that we give away in charity, all austerities that we perform, everything is meant for God's pleasure. Then we are getting a glimpse of the understanding of the reality and our relationship in that reality, our loving relationship in that reality with that perspective. Everything is perception. We do not see things as they are when we're covered. We see things as we are. So if all we are looking at is the material energy, that's what we see. We think that we are that material energy. Our relatives are that material energy. All of this possessions that we have, and part of that, understand that perception is that we possess it. There's two dimensions of false ego, which means identity under the influence of the modes. I am, and this is mine. Those are the two dimensions of perception under the influence of the modes. I am male, I am female, I am white, I am brown, I am black, I am yellow, I am red. All those various nuances of the ego, designations, upadhis. And this is mine. That is the other aspect of the perception that we have while covered in the material world. To become free from that I am, that temporary designation, and the illusion that I actually possess things in this world which are taken away from us at the time of death, what we begin to realize is that this is not mine. Everything has been given to me by the blessings of the Lord. And therefore, one who develops their love and their devotion in the system of bhakti yoga develops a freedom from possessiveness, a freedom from the illusion that this temporary role that I am playing is me. That is the result of bhakti. So I'll stop here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for being with me and listening to what I had to say. By Krishna's blessings. All of this is coming not from me and my intelligence. It is actually a blessing coming from Krishna. So, does anyone have any further question or comment or realization that you would like to share? Thanks, Jada, for coming. Anyone? Please feel free, speak up, let me know.
I have,
And there's the Bhakti Garden himself.
I have an appreciation. I have so much of an appreciation. Um, I don't know if it'll come out right. I love the personal. Krishna consciousness is very personal. Bhakti's personal. And you started today, you went back to the storyline with Arjuna, his perplexity and his relatives and what was going on with Arjuna. And then you went to the situation, to our Dharma and our Sanatana Dharma, which was quite interesting. And then you tied it in to the fact that they had already, Arjuna's Dharma, he was a protector. And so he had to protect and he had to do his duty. And Krishna was wanting to use him like that. And then you showed how they were already done. They were already dead. And you tied us back up to the universal form. You brought it all back in. But everything that you were doing was giving life, personal. It became personal. This storyline of the Gita, it all became personal. Even with the ghastly with the demigods coming to the point of offering prayers in different moods, and then all the nectar that you gave that appeared to be off the track, but it was all an extension of you giving your realization of the process of bhakti. And when you got to the point of what Sanatana Dharma really looks like in the different loving exchanges with Krishna, I thought, how is he putting all this in the Gita? But it was such a wonderful experience to hear you go from one aspect of to another, and it was done in such an easily understandable way. So I'm thanking you because I told you I'm coming because I'm enjoying the ride. It was so wonderful.
Well, you have to come every class, Haryashva, because your summary is right on point. You're giving us a nice summary of what was said, so that's great. Thank you. I
I'm just
appreciate.
wondering, can we take it? Is this class? Is it taped? Can I listen
Yes.
to it? You
Yeah.
have to tell me how I listen to them again because it's just too much to keep for one class. I think that these classes they're quite informative. I want to hear them again.
Absolutely recorded. It's on YouTube. It's on my YouTube page, which is Lakshmi Nishringa Das. I believe that'll get you to my. You just don't put in Lakshmi, or make sure the spelling is right. Laksmi, Nishringa Das, and then you'll go, and all the classes are there. I'm in the process of trying to organize that. If anyone who is much more adept at using the computer than myself, would like to help me on that, I accept all volunteers in that regard, especially when it comes to computer and maneuvering around. I was just reading, I have an app, and I was just reading, the intricacies of using the app, and I was going, oh my God, I need help on this. But thank you, Haryashva, again for your breaking it
Thank
down
you.
into a nutshell presentation like that. Helpful. And anyone else would like to share their observation or
Yes, I had a thought. Hey,
shoot,
Lakshmi.
Trish? Hey,
Uh,
Trish.
So when you were talking about, and Rose was talking about how uh, all the demigods were inside the Supreme, and that made it all, that it's all one God. But, thinking about it further too, is that when one's on a spiritual path, that how is the one going to reveal himself to you? So when God reveals himself to you, it could be in many forms, but it all leads back to one God.
It does, and that's a good point. It's a very interesting point because when you become in your practice of bhakti, you will find that you have a certain attraction. Krishna as your friend, your best buddy, Krishna as your child, Krishna as your lover, or um, some devotees have an attraction to Krishna's features, Ramchandra, because they like, that manifestation of nobility, and his dedication to Sita. So what happens is when the bhakti path is very specific, and thus we have all of this information so that we don't go off the beaten path, so to speak. So we're able to really lock in at what we're doing and how we're doing it and why we're doing it. See, what happens sometimes when we get into yoga, it's like everything can be done. It's, you get a little bit of that. It's like a smorgasbord, right? And then you go into a smorgasbord. I'll have a little bit of this. I'll have a little bit of that. But bhakti is like going to the best baker in the world, and they're going to make their best preparation, and then you're going to be able to relish that absolutely amazing. So we are able to, with this knowledge that we're getting and the experience that it's not only about knowledge, it's about putting that knowledge into your life, assimilating that knowledge into your life. So it's jnana and vijnana. From that assimilation of the knowledge into your life, you get realization. And that's where it all blows open. When you start having realizations, because you're a very unique individual, Trish Black, you have a unique life. You've done things and gone through things that are unique to you. So when you start practicing in a way, then you approach in a specific way according to your perspective, according to your desire. It becomes very specific, and you begin to see, like, I have a good friend who owns a yoga studio in New Jersey, one of the best yoga studios. Premarnava knows her also because he's done kirtan with me there at Betsy's. It's called the Bhakti Barn. And the reason I met her is because when I moved back to New Jersey in 2010, I was looking for yoga studios that might be receptive to Bhakti Kirtan, Krishna Bhakti Kirtan. And I came upon that name and I called her and we became fast friends. But the thing about this yoga, this Bhakti yoga, is it's specific because it wants to allow us, and people think, is that limiting? I'm only with Krishna and this kind of, no, because once you go through the portal, then you see the unlimited varieties of that love and love exchange. Just like if you taste something that's expertly prepared, you get all the different sensations, the taste of it, the various nuances of flavor in it, the textures, the smell, the vision. There's unlimited kinds of experience that you have. So when you enter the portal looks small. Oh, Bhakti Yoga, you chant Hare Krishna, you get up early and it looks like it's very limiting. And then, as opposed to the smorgasbord approach. The smorgasbord approach is, okay, you have all these things. I'll take a little bit of Shiva. I'll take a little bit of Ganesh. I'll take a little bit of Durga. I'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And that appears to be broader, but it's not, because the smorgasbord table has an ending, it has a limit. Whereas once you enter into the portal of bhakti, all of a sudden, all of these various nuances, aspects of love and loving exchange begin to open up to you unlimitedly. It's like spiraling up. The more you get into your loving exchange, you're just spiraling up. It gets better and deeper and more profound and broader. And it unlimitedly goes in that way. Whereas when we get into a relationship, material understanding, it's a downward spiral. It's narrow. So if you approach spirituality in this smorgasbord manner, then what happens is it has its limits, because you're never really going to enter fully into the Ras, the Shiva Ras, the Durga Ras. Those are very, very specific relationships. What to speak of the loving relationship with Krishna. So that's bhakti. That's a bhakti yoga path that we're traversing. All of this that we're getting, the knowledge, is to give us the faith, to give us the confidence that if we're walking in the right direction, just keep walking. And all will be revealed. You'll go through the portal, and all of a sudden, oh my God, Krishna has a peacock feather. Krishna really plays that flute. Krishna is a great dancer. We have that faith and that conviction that all of these things are there and for us to experience in a loving relationship. Anyone else have any question or comment?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes. Premanava.
Nice to see Hari Ashwa Prabhu after a long time.
That
background gives me good memories.
Yeah.
I'm drinking, man. I'm just drinking up as much as I can.
Haryashva is greedy. He's greedy for this love of Krishna. So he drinks deeply.
Yeah, I might see him at Philly Rath Yatra. I think it's coming on September.
Yeah, usually at the end of September is the Philly Rath Yatra. I don't know the exact date, but it's probably online. You could figure it out. Okay. Thank you, folks. Thank you for your attention and your participation. Questions are always welcome. And I really appreciate your association in that regard. And we'll see you soon. We'll talk soon. And we'll see you soon. And we had here the grand opening of the Radha Govinda Mandir. It was very lovely. I know Trish came. Rose was out of town, but I'm sure Rose will be there soon. Srihari was there. We were there, those of us that were around. we experienced it. So Harashva, come and visit Radha Govinda down here now. What beautiful deities they are. Oh my God. They're just absolutely gorgeous. They remind me a little bit of Radha Sharat Bihari there in Philly.
Oh, wow.
You know, they have that kind of mood, you know, that really loving mood. And Gaur Nitai, Lord Nityananda, he's just very special. So if any of you up there in the north, we feel cold in the winter, come on down, have kirtan with us. We have a nice kirtan every Thursday night with good friends. Trish is racking her brain now to come up with other opportunities that we can get together. So, you know, hopefully in a few months' time, we'll come up with some good ideas and put them into effect and give people, you know, more opportunities to come together in this regard. So thanks, folks. We'll see you. Have a happy, healthy, and holy week. We'll see you next Tuesday. And, you know, God bless you. Krishna bless you. And we'll see you. Thanks again.
Haribol.
Hari
Hari Hari,
Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.